Because I am an influencer, whatever the heck that means, because I have a lot of eyeballs on me on all these platforms, enough to make an impact, I have some information for you based on people all over the world and what's happening to them. You might say, I'm feeling alone about this, but you're really not. Your world is dissolving. Yours, personally. Why? You cannot avoid this. Now, I talked about fasten your seatbelt because you're going to see the shift happening of those who are going to fight to stay in the material world and control it. And so, people drowning, right? What do they do when people try to save them? You know this. This is why you got to go in the back and get them. They will push you down to get to the top to breathe. Those are the lower frequencies out there. People that are not in an awakened state. Nothing wrong with them. They're just in a different space. That's not you. No division, no fighting for anything. I want to talk about this because your world is dissolving. I want to tell you about this huge turning point that's happening. Once again, this is a very positive thing. You are not alone. I'm going to tell you why it's happening and what you can do with it right now. Let's go. To Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. There are people who are going to fight for what they want because they don't see past this. They don't see past the material world, what they desire. They try to strike out at others. So they're going to say certain things to manipulate. Doesn't work anymore. We're not falling for it. Now, there are those who will be upset by these things. I've had quite a few incidents happen recently. I saw an altercation in my organic grocery store, and it was a little disturbing. I observed it, and I thought, what's happening right now? There's a great unrest because the world is dissolving. The one that we knew, that was based on sand, built on sand, a lot of people, they didn't want that to change. They're fighting, they're feeling fear, they're going into this lower frequency of, oh my gosh, my world is changing, we're going to blow up, blah, 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 blah. You cannot be created nor destroyed. You always have been, you always will be. It's just an adventure. You signed up for the play. There has to be drama in the play or else it'd be boring. You can change the play. You can change what the actor does. You can't change the actor. Not for what you signed up with. But your world is dissolving. I want to share with you why that's happening. The structures of the matrix that we created is not something in place that we got put into that's beyond our control. It all interacts. Everything is a part of everything else. Everything is one thing. It's just playing out different roles to know itself in every possible form. You cannot know blue unless you've seen something other than blue. Red, there's another color than blue. A fish doesn't know what oxygen is till you pull it out of the water. And it goes, oh, I really love that water. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're experiencing. So what's happening is this world is dissolving. Why is it dissolving? As the frequency, and by the way, this is, NASA has documented this. These frequencies, they're real. As a frequency rises, because we are no longer accepting this egotistical me behavior, many people are going into service to others, simpler lives, respect to the planet, making decisions saying, okay, guess what? It's not a sacrifice for me to stop using plastic. I've been doing great harm, and now that I have this information, I have to make a decision. This is it. Now that you have information, you have to make a decision. The veils have been pulled off and you see it. Are you going to stand by and watch it, or are you going to participate in the change? Now, here's why it's dissolving for you. As we go into a higher frequency, the matrix changes. We're going into a higher level plane, okay? Bing, 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 bing. Now we're not, we're past the little Pac-Man down here. We're way up here. Okay, so the game's changed. And that's a good thing because we have greater opportunities, more expertise. We can get on that leaderboard. All right, so here's how we do it. We're changing the game plan. In other words, the world's becoming more expansive and powerful in a positive way. Service to others makes us powerful because now, as a collective working together, we have no limits. We always were one, so we're getting closer into that, going back to that which we are. You never lost it, but within the matrix game, it appears that we have. So as we go into the oneness, the game changes, so the structures of things that are destructive to others, selfish, hoarding, me, my political party's right, and taking sides, going down. It's going down. You can't stop it. Why? Because it's based on separation and it's a low frequency and it can't survive. It can't. That's the whole purpose of us being here, is to evolve into higher frequencies. So what's going to happen is your world is going to present opportunities for you to make higher choices. You may be experiencing it. Every single person I know is experiencing it. Now, all my students are making higher choices. I got a couple that are struggling with that, especially with careers. It's not easy. I got to pay my bills. Well, you know what? I gave up investment banking 10 years ago. I was an investment banker for 20 years. There was a time when I said, I actually have to let the licenses go. I have to make a different decision. And I didn't know what I was going to. I learned internet marketing. You guys have seen this. This is why I promote it. Changed my life. I learned new skills. And I created a new world for myself. I had to be a different person, making different choices. And guess what? It wasn't that difficult. So the higher frequency world, the collective that is choosing service to others, simplicity, let's make changes. Let's clean up all the damage that has been done to this point, because that does have to be cleaned up. Not going to go away overnight. We have to deal with the repercussions of what we've done up to this point, whether it's you personally or not. And by the way, if you're living anywhere on this planet, you're contributing in some way. If you eat anything with plastic on it or anything like that, you are contributing. All right, even to our illness, everything has been sprayed with chemicals. We can't put up with that anymore. Just say no. So when you contribute that way, your life will change. It's going to be cleaner. Your energy is going to go up. You're going to feel like, I can make different choices. And therefore, the continued frequency, continued raising of the frequency of the planet keeps going up and up and up. And so the lower frequencies will continue to collapse more and more and more, because we're not choosing it anymore. It's not that it can't exist. It can. But if you're not paying attention to, if you're not watching the negative media, if you're not taking the drugs that some doctor can't speak up because he's told he has to give you these prescriptions, realize there's another way. There's a healthier way for me to live. I don't have to be on any prescriptions. Yes, I'm not telling you to get off your prescriptions. There are times when, the medicine can be amazing things, but most of it is just not in our best interests. The more we say no to that and we find the alternative ways and the solutions, the more we change the world into a healthier, more, let's just say, natural, respectful, ethical, loving space. There are no enemies on the planet. Your world is dissolving. It has to, because everything that you have relied on that is of a lower frequency will not be there for you anymore, including our financial systems, everything that is not a bad thing. Things will replace it that are so beautiful and amazing. But we have to be the creators of the new amazing. We have to participate in that. I have a new platform. I keep talking about this. Digital Explorers, May 1st, is going live. May 1st, 2023. This is going to be old real quick. It's not going to be complete, but it's going to go live, and you can sign up and get involved in building your own world and business and making money doing something good instead of making money doing things that are not so good. People always afraid spiritual people shouldn't charge. I said, well, who's going to pay the thousands of dollars to run these platforms? We have to get real. We live in a material world, so we still have to function that way. So as we have to still pay our bills with money, how are we going to earn that money? And what are we going to do with it? Are we going to give in a positive way? So your dissolving world allows you an opportunity to choose something really amazing and great. My Breakthrough Fear students, we just got off of a coaching session, and I got to tell you what, every single one of them has amazing talents and experience that they can share with the world, and they're going to be doing that. And I said, it's time for you. And they all said they see it coming. Artists, one reads Akashic Records, another artist, amazing artists. None of them have training. Well, one of them's taking classes now, and I got trained on the internet. Sometimes we need teachers. You guys know. Come on over. I teach you. I guide you the things that I know that work. So just open yourself up. Go, do. Don't judge anything. Just go do it. You'll find out where you're supposed to be when you step into that space, that unknown space of expansiveness. But don't go in with fear. If you go in with fear, you're going to make decisions based on the ego, which is going to tell you it's wrong, they're this, they're that, and it's just cluster F. You know what that means. And that's when you say, Dr. Vahan, shut your pie hole. I'm not listening to ego anymore, because that is the dissolving world. Your world is dissolving. It's beautiful. We're going into something beautiful. We are already in a golden era, and you may not even know it. I have students, one in particular, she's walking around outside of her body, which I went into that state quite some time ago. And I said to her, you're in an awakened state. You're actually going outside of the physical body and connecting to the quantum field. You actually aren't completely in your body like this, where you think that's all you are. And so it's almost difficult to talk to people because you have no interest in the chaotic, mumbo-jumbo, BS negativity, complaints about my world is this, my world is that. Your world is whatever you want it to be. You're ready to step into it. Celebrate this very trying time of letting go of what we knew that wasn't working. It's okay. It's a wonderful time for you. What do you want to do? Anything. You can do anything. I hope you'll subscribe and share my videos, because we're not going to pay attention to all the other garbage out there. And if you're listening to anything fear-based, I don't care what they tell you, who they are, I'm this, what? Great. But guess what? You're spewing fear, and I don't want to listen to that. Click. You're in control. Watch what you're giving your kids. Watch what you're feeding them. Oh, that's convenient. Watch what you're allowing them to watch. How do you think here in the United States they get ideas to walk into schools and shoot up the place? They had to have seen it somewhere. They play those games. They're being trained. That is the matrix training of the lower frequencies. The matrix, there's high frequencies in the matrix. It's just the game. The matrix can be heaven on earth. We can create that too. You ready to do that with me? I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. You got to remain in faith no matter what. That is the light. That is the light. That is the light. I don't have to understand it. It's part of the family that came here to work together to raise the frequency. That's the game. That's the final outcome. Don't you get off of that pathway. If you have anything negative to say about anybody, you're going into that basement, dark, mossy, stinky basement. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.